Hello, happy Friday. It's good to be back. It's been a couple of weeks since I've been with you. It's been kind of crazy around here, and it doesn't show any signs of being any less crazy, but some things need to go on, like my regular Facebook Lives. So, today I want to talk about technology. It's been on my mind a lot, largely because my husband and I traded our 2016 Kia Sedona van for a new Sorento hybrid SUV. And we've been having a real learning curve with all the new technology that was built into this car. The first new tech feature we noticed were the cameras. There's a backup camera. There's a front-facing camera. And through some kind of magic with smoke and mirrors, it feels like we have a drone on top of the car following us from above. But the salesman told us that I guess it's got cameras on the wheel wells or something that face up, and there must be some one on the top of the car somewhere facing down. Somehow they make it so that when we back out of the driveway or pull out of the driveway every time, it looks like we're watching ourselves on the navigation screen. It's just kind of wild, a little bit disconcerting. The most obnoxious part of the car's new technology is that it beeps at us for everything. It beeps a warning if we cross a highway stripe without using our turn signals. It has a flashing red warning on the side mirrors if a car is in your blind spot, and it beeps if we start to pull over and it looks like we're going to be too close to that vehicle that's in the other lane. Um, it the car won't let you tailgate at all. You've got to keep your distance between a vehicle in front of you. And I'm still trying to get used to the all-wheel drive feature. I've never had an all-wheel drive car. It makes it feel like when you're going down the road and you're going into a curve, it makes it feel like the steering wheel is being pulled out of your hands and it's steering itself. I don't like that. But uh, I'm still trying to get used to uh, the fact that you get a warning on your dashboard as you turn the car off and you're exiting. It warns you to check the back seat for passengers. Well, usually the only passenger back there is my little carrying case from my water therapy that I've been going to. So, but it does remind me to get that out of the car. All of this kind of makes me recall the days when states and the federal government were starting to require use of seatbelts. I think some of the independent farmer types that I knew back then were complaining about the government trying to protect us from ourselves. And I can see the logic of that argument, but at the same time, I also see the logic in seatbelt laws. It does protect us from our idiocy and our carelessness, or from other people's carelessness. I think the same thing applies to motorcycle helmet laws, and uh, and I really think the idea of warning us to check the back seat for passengers, while it doesn't really apply to me necessarily, it there sure have been a lot of tragic examples of children being left in the back seats and dying because of the extreme heat that built up in the back seat. So I'm sure you're probably wondering what all this talk about technology has to do with memoir. And I think it has to do with the fact that how we adapt to and use new technology or learn anything new shows how resilient we are, shows what kind of an individual we are. I feel really fortunate that my jobs have required me to use computer technology almost the entire length of my career. I complained a lot about it. I felt like throwing computers out the window sometimes, but I feel so fortunate that I've had to learn to use new technology. Um, I've used it to produce a newspaper, and now I'm using all kinds of new technology and even artificial intelligence to produce books. But there is always that learning curve. And I know so many people, mostly older people, I'm afraid that they won't even learn to turn on a computer. They want nothing to do with a computer. I can understand that if they have no need for a computer, but it does keep them out of the loop in a lot of things. For example, just in email. Um, so it would be, I mean, that seems to be the way everybody communicates anymore. So, but it's not just older people that have an issue with new technology. I was talking to a young man who was my coach for water therapy today, and he admitted that he did not like to do anything tech wise. He's not tech savvy whatsoever. If he can't unplug something and plug it back in to get it to work, he calls an expert. And he says his parents were the same way. So it's not just seniors that have an issue with new tech. And I'm sure most of the seniors that I know that are tech averse will learn to use a cell phone, and that's nothing more than a little handheld computer. So, uh, we can resist and complain about new technology all we want, and I've been right there with you, complaining about all these new things, these new bells and whistles that are on my car anyway. But we may not be able to fully participate in all that life has to offer, especially in terms of communication, if we continue to resist using new technology. So here's an assignment for you. If you're working on your memoir, why not record your feelings and experiences in using new technology, in learning new technology? What things have you just refused to learn? And does learning to use a new vehicle or a new cell phone, does it frustrate and anger you if you can't figure it out? That has happened to me before, for sure. I know I'd like to turn off some of the tech features on my car so I wouldn't feel like the world's worst driver when I don't stay exactly in the middle and the center of my driving lane. It beeps at me for that. And getting beeped at makes me feel like I'm in school again and getting yelled at by a teacher or a coach, which never really happened in school. Oh, wait, maybe it did. I think it happened in driver's ed. so, so if you can record your experiences and your attitudes toward new technology. It will show your children, your grandchildren, your descendants a lot about who you are. In the meantime, have a great weekend, and we will see you next time.